All right. So, yeah, we'll just get into it, man. I wanted to first start off by asking you, because I was doing some research for the interview today, and I saw you went ahead and went to go see that new Mortal Kombat movie. How was that Mortal Kombat movie?
Man, it's not out yet. I was looking up the link and we were supposed to go see it. It said April 16th. And in my mind, I thought, I was like, oh, we're past the 16th, but it's only March. So it don't come out to the 16th. But
Oh,
when that comes out, I'm definitely going to go watch it. I'm a big nerd. So,
yeah. I remember the original Mortal Kombat movie, but I didn't realize there was a new one until I was on your Facebook page and I was like, oh snap, there's a new movie out for Mortal Kombat,
yeah,
so I figured I'd ask you about it.
awesome. I'm pretty
Yeah,
pumped about it. I love that they're going to go redo a bunch of these old movies. And that's one that needs to be redone. And I'm glad they did.
yeah, man. Yeah, hopefully it comes out well. Who was your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
Raiden.
All right, Raiden was the man.
Raiden or Reptile. Them two are my favorite.
Okay, yeah. I liked Raiden. I used to kill everybody on the games with him. He was fun to play with.
Right, Superman and everyone to the end of the level.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to ask you, man, like your journey in boxing is very interesting to me, at least because you were a fighter that didn't really have any amateur experience, and you just kind of jumped in. You came from a football background. Like, what was the moment that you knew you wanted to become a fighter?
Uh, when football was done, honestly, yeah, it wasn't at first that I just wanted to be a fighter. It's just I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to be a professional athlete, and football kind of ended for me. So I didn't know what sport I could do again, and my dad did boxing, so I was like, I might have a chance for that. So let's do that. I had a rude awakening because I was like, football's a contact sport. Boxing is. Let's do this. Shoot. Mike Tyson's saying, everyone has a plan to get punched in the mouth is true. I didn't know what I was getting myself into till, I got stroked in the mouth a couple times, and I was like, oh, boy, all right, this ain't nothing like football. This is way harder. This makes football look like a sissy sport. So, I just, my stubbornness outweighed my wanting to quit. So, I never wanted to quit anything, but boxing, boxing changed my mind a couple times because I didn't know how to take getting my butt whipped and not being able to do anything about it. But that's where my stubbornness outweighed my quit, and just stayed with it, and got better and better, and then I got to where I could defend myself a little bit. Then I got to where I could throw my punches back a little quicker, and it just built from there. And it ended
Yeah.
up that the more I learned and the better I got, the funner it got.
How many months did you train before you actually started fighting? Because I think I was reading you only trained like 2 or 3 months before you had your first fight. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I trained for 2 months and I had my first professional fight.
Dang.
Yeah, it was bad. You can go back and watch that. It just looked straight like a street fight. There was no boxing involved at all.
Well, I know just in watching your fight, like I watched your fight against Pedro Martinez today,
Yeah,
uh, and then I've watched your Ed Lattimore fight before, and like just the growth between those two fights, you seem a lot more loose, and you're more assured of yourself in the ring.
yeah. I've learned to be. You learn to get more comfortable. It's hard to get comfortable and loose when someone's trying to take your head off. So you just, people ask me how you do that, and you just do it by experience. Getting in there, and I don't have a lot of experience, but I've sparred a lot of guys. Especially when I went to L.A. and just getting in there with them guys, and going through the motions, or going through the rounds and stuff. You get more comfortable, and that's transferred. I'm not as worried getting in there. I've learned. One thing I wish I would have done is boxing as a young age, because when you do it as a young age, you have no fear of it. You have fun. Like you could throw football pads on me and throw me out on the NFL football field, and not saying I'm as good as them guys, but I wouldn't really have a fear because it's my home. That's where I go. But then doing boxing at the age of 24, 25, whenever it was I started, uh, you're a grown man and you have a fear of it. You're like, well, you just worry about it a lot more. So, I had to get past that. And the only way to do that is just to get in there and do it and experience. And, you get calmer the more times you get put in them situations.
That makes a lot of sense. And funny enough, like one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Rocky Marciano, I don't think he started his professional career until he was like 25 years old.
Okay, well that's good. I can look up to that.
Yeah, you got time. You got time to mature and grow into becoming the best version of yourself in that ring.
Yeah. I'm just in there. I'm training all the time, even though I've had a lot of time off. I've been training this whole time. I've been sparring. I've been, doing all this stuff. But and all that's just developed a certain type of confidence in me. That I can hang with the guy. Certain people. I'm like, hey, I can do it. And then it takes that pressure or that being able that looseness. You've been able to. I'm able to be more loose in there. Not worry so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good, man. Because I mean, this is your first fight, I think, since that Pedro Martinez fight, and you're fighting on a pretty big card. You're fighting on the Joe Smith Jr. Vlasov undercard, and it's gonna be kind of like in a way, the return of Trey to like people's attention because you're gonna be on such a big card.
Mhm.
What do you think people are gonna see new about you from the last time they saw you?
Let's see here. They're gonna see just a lot more boxing. I'm gonna look more like a boxer. I'm gonna hold my stance better. They're not gonna see me. I'm gonna say get so wild. There's a lot of times I got hit and the freak part of you comes out and you're like, like a shark sensing blood.
Yeah.
And I'm able to hold that back more because you got to hold it back. People think when they get mad they want to fight. Well, if you get mad in a boxing ring, you're already in a fight. What are you gonna do? Fight him harder? You gotta control that. So I'm just I've gotten to where I can control that a little better, and that comes with being smarter too. You make smarter decisions instead of just diving in there and wasting everything you have trying to take someone out with one punch. You got to set stuff up, and I'm seeing that with a bunch of other sparring partners I've had. They've done it with. I see them do it with me. I see them.
Yeah.
I might hit them with a good shot, but I look in their face after I do it, and they're remaining calm. I didn't always do that, so I learned from seeing other guys too that I went against.
Yeah, you always gotta stay like those 2 or 3 steps ahead of your opponent, especially in heavyweight boxing.
Really do.
Because in your weight class, one wrong second and that's it. Your career is done.
Yeah, that's right. You're in the fight, and the next second you wake up and it's over.
Yeah. Who are some of like the notable sparring partners you've had, like that people would know about? Are there any names?
Denis Lebedev.
Okay.
He was a Russian cruiserweight guy.
The champion, the cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, I've also sparred with Andrei Fedosov. He was a
Okay.
Russian guy. I've sparred Efi Ajagba.
Oh wow, and you're on the same card as him. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was fun to move around with. And let's see, man, there's a bunch of other guys. They might not have the biggest names, but they might just be in the category I'm in, or a little above me, a little below me, whatever. And you just learn from everybody.
Yeah. You mentioned Jogba. It's funny because I actually wrote it down. Like I had it in my notes. I was like, man, I think like maybe in another fight or two that could be a good fight for you because you guys aren't too far off as far as the rounds you box in the pros.
Mm-hmm.
I think you boxed like 31 rounds. He's boxed 50.
Yeah. He's a good dude. He's a great boxer. It would be a good fun fight.
Yeah. What do you think is Efe Ajagba's best quality?
I don't really know because I'm not really when I'm facing them or when I'm sparring with them. I'm not really thinking about what their best quality is.
Yeah, I got you.
Man, he's just nothing bad to say about the guy. He's just a good all around fighter. He's got good height. He's lean, got good length. He's just he's just a good fighter. He stays composed well, and he's just good at boxing.
I mean, I would hope so. He was a Nigerian Olympian, so
Yeah. He's a great boxer. He'll be a good guy to watch.
Absolutely, man. You're like with you, man. there's a lot of interesting things about your career. There's a lot of different dynamics with your career. Like I know Tony Holden is a big part of your career. Is he still with you?
Yeah, he's still my promoter.
Okay, he's still your promoter. So like, what can you tell people about Tony Holden? Like who he is and what he's meant to your career.
Man, he's meant everything to my career. No one would know my name if it wasn't for him. As a promoter, you know, he's the guy that got me started. He's done it right for me. He's never taken anything from me and given me everything. So, you know, he's just a great dude, and he's doing me right. You know, I remember when we first started this boxing thing off, we met at my dad's funeral, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, you know, and then he told me to, you know, come over to the casino he worked at, you know, just to show me a good time. And at the end of that night, I popped the question, you know, because I told you I was wanting to be an athlete. I was like, man, help me fight, you know, and he was like, nah, boxing is just not what it used to be. I'm done. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it without you. You know, I'm gonna give it a try without you. And then 3 days later, he called me and was like, all right, let's get it started. And you know, because he knows, you can be dead wrong, you know, done wrong in boxing, and he knows there's probably a good chance that, you know, probably could have been done, you know, with me, with my last name and stuff. So he, you know, I think he took it upon himself. He wanted to, you know, do it right. And, you know, that's what he's done.
Yeah, and he was your dad's promoter, right? He was your dad's manager, right? Back in the day.
Sir.
So that's the link. That's the link for those that don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing I know he said, because I was reading some articles a couple days ago about you. He was saying that like it's unbelievable to him how much you resemble your father in the ring as far as your style and your ability to punch. What do you think about that? And do you think your style resembles your father at all?
Yeah, I think it does resemble him. I mean, honestly, anyone that knew my dad and has seen me, they've all said our mannerisms and how we move and talk, laugh, they're all the same. So it's not like, you know, I get in there and I get in the boxing ring, same thing goes on there. You know, how I move, how I punch, what I do a lot is just naturally the same as what he does. And it's not even that I'm trying to copy him or anything. It's just our bodies are the same. So we naturally do the same movements.
Yeah. What as far as like your father, like if you compare and contrast, what do you think are some things that that like specifically in the ring that you guys do similar?
You know, I'm horrible when you put me on the spot.
I got you. Well, you can take your time. You can take your time. I'm not rushing you, man.
Okay, man. We punch the same. When I say we punch the same, I'm not talking about power. I'm just talking about, you know, how we throw our punch, the way, just our movements and mannerisms. I feel like his left hook was better than mine, you know, but mine's getting there. It definitely is getting there. His is, my power's there with his, you know, but I got to get a little bit more coordinated, quicker, and on point like he does. Like he could throw his left hook at nowhere, on point, snap.
Yeah, and it's like
real
tight.
I got to get more like that.
Yeah, so becoming a more precise puncher, kind of like he was.
Yes, sir. He was. He had combinations, and a lot of people, you know, talk about how much power he had, but he had speed and quickness too. Boy, he could snap some combos off real quick that, you know, you don't see much heavyweights do. And I'm just, you know, I'm trying to reach that. I have the capability of doing it. I can do it, but you know, I've still got to get my body into more muscle memory, you know, to be able to, you know, do it just out of nowhere like he did.
Yeah, I remember. Well, like today I was on your Facebook page today, and I saw some of your like recent training footage where you were like kind of stepping off to the right and shifting and throwing these big hooks. Mm-hmm. And it kind of reminded me. It kind of gave me some flashbacks to when I used to play Fight Night on the Xbox.
Hey, yeah, I still have it. I have Fight Night round 2 right here. Old school.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't played round 2 in forever. I remember. I think he was in round 3. I remember I used to play.
It is round 3. Round 3 is the one I have, not 2. You're right.
Okay, round 3. The one that your dad was in. I remember I'll be beating him, and then he would roll a shot and then throw a big left hook counter to the body, and like all my life would just be zapped. So
Dude,
like when I saw you today, I was like, man,
it happens, man. When you talk about styles, I do. I say I don't try to copy him, but I do look at a lot of my dad's stuff because our movements are the same. I do try to see what he does. I try to do I'd say my styles. I try to put it between him and Mike Tyson. The reason I do that is because the heavyweights nowadays are like 6'6" and above.
oh my god,
No, I'm super short now, so I feel like for me to be able to compete with them guys, I gotta have more cardio to be able to make that movement. You gotta have that head movement and stuff to be able to get in to throw them punches. And I'm I might be a little bit taller than Tyson, nowadays, but equivalent to his time to mine, 6'2" short now. So
yeah, it is.
I gotta have I gotta have the type of movement he did and be able to throw my punches from angles and that quickness, I think, to be able to deal with them tall heavyweights.
Yeah. Another good guy to watch would be like Holyfield too, because he was great with his combinations. I mean, he was a smaller guy fighting giants and having a lot of success with 3, 4, 5 punch combinations.
Yeah, he Holyfield was just a tough animal, boy.
Yeah,
There was no quitting that man.
he's definitely a good guy to resemble, man. He's one of the toughest fighters that ever lived.
Oh yeah, but for sure.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
So like what improvements do you feel you made? Like because I'm watching you and it seems like when you fought Pedro Martinez and you stopped him, you threw a jab and then you kind of stepped in and you shifted and you threw a hook to the body to stop him. Are we gonna see more of a Trey Lippe Morrison who throws punches from angles, like kind of like that?
Yeah, you're definitely gonna see more angles. I feel as my career before, you might see me throw a combination, but I got in a bad habit of kind of what I call standing in the middle.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna have to do is once I finish them combinations, you're gonna see me, off to the side and step out and be out of their, their center line. I'm gonna be on an angle. I'm gonna try to, after every combination I throw or after every time I get inside, if I'm gonna get out, I'm going to do it from the side instead of, stepping back twice down the middle. I just need to be out of the middle. Everything's an angle in boxing because if you're on a different angle of them, they got to shift their weight,
And they got to reset.
Yeah, they got to, face me. And while they're doing that, that's a chance for me to hit them. So I'm just always going to have to, be on an angle and using movement the whole time. And that's where that conditioning comes in because I don't have the height or the length to just sit there.
I think he cut out again. Yo, Trey, you cut out. I don't know what happened. You cut out. Oh.
Nope.
There we go. There we go. You're back.
All right. Now I got to remember what the hell I was saying.
You were saying, I think the last thing I heard you say was, when you move your head off the line, it's a chance for you to hit them while they're resetting.
Yes. Okay. I got in a habit of, every time I throw, it's kind of what people would call admiring your punches.
Yes.
And
you pose.
I would throw my shot and I'd kind of sit there and look to see if something happened, and that's when I'm getting drilled. Well, you can't do that. You got to throw your punches, get the hell out of the way. So, you'll see more of that. I think you'll just see me as an overall better boxer. Not, but you'll see some. I don't know. You're just gonna have to see.
Okay, I'll be watching. I'll be watching, man.
Okay, cool.
So
I don't really know how to explain it.
It's okay. It's all right. So I want to kind of go back to Tony Holden because he has that link between he's the link between you and your father. You said that you met him at your dad's funeral. What has Tony ever told you any interesting stories about your father?
Yeah, a bunch.
What's one that sticks out to you?
Oh,
take your time.
My dad was a really loyal person, and the main story that sticks out to me is Tony and my dad were in a room with Don King, and Tony told me he wanted to just talk to my dad. He didn't want another promoter in there. So Don King threw him $1 million in a bag and said, "You can have that if you get him out of here." And my dad threw it back at him and said, "There's no way."
Wow, that's crazy. That sounds like something like in a mafia movie.
Yeah, just to show his loyalty. You know, he was just like, "There's no way. This is my guy. You know, money's not going to change that."
Yeah, so like it seems like he was a man of principle. Well,
yeah, you know, my dad was a real loyal person.
yeah, I like that, man. I like hearing stories about that because you hear so many stories in boxing about fighters. They get to a certain level, and then once they get there, they kind of forgot they forget about the people that helped bring them up and shape who they were in boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like as far as do you have a favorite fight of your father's? I know you say you watch his tapes. Like, do you have a favorite fight that sticks out that they like to watch?
I have two. I like him versus Foreman and him versus Ruddock.
Those are good ones, man. The Foreman one I like a lot because I know in the Foreman one, like George just kept coming and coming and coming, and people criticized him in the back half of the fight. They were saying, "Oh, he was running and whatnot." But George is carrying those bricks in both hands, so you gotta be careful.
Exactly. You know, people who say that, you stand in front of Foreman, see who runs. You know, it's George Foreman. That's why I respected that fight with my dad, because he kind of had to change. He had to change his what he did. You know, he couldn't just stand in the middle and bang with Foreman. You're not going to do that. You know, so you can call it running and call what you want, but you know, I take it as he fought smart. You know, he had to change it up. He fought smart and he won. And then for the Ruddock fight, I really like the Ruddock fight because I think it shows my dad's heart. I felt like, honestly, I thought Ruddock was winning the fight. And then out of nowhere, there comes that left and changed everything in a heartbeat.
Yeah, man. Your dad had a lot of heart, and like I like watching his fights because to me, like in the '90s, he's one of the guys that defined that helped define the '90s era of heavyweight boxing.
Mm-hmm. He did. He was definitely one of, I felt like a lot of people probably say that that's the toughest era of boxing. And I can agree with that, man. There were so many badass dudes then, and it was just cool to say my dad was one of them.
He was. I mean, he was champion. He held the belt for a time. He had a piece of the title. So that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, man. And like with you, man, I think you're at a great age. 31 years old is young for heavyweight. Heavyweights generally mature later on in their career anyway. So you got a chance to really make some noise.
Yeah. I'm staying with it. Always stay in training, trying to gain some knowledge, because with me starting as late as I did, that's what I need: experience, knowledge, and that's what's going to get me there. Staying busy. I can't say I've stayed the busiest, the best I could in the last 3 years, as in always staying active, training and stuff. But fight wise, I can't say I've been busy because, I've had injuries and you've had COVID and all this crap. So, we're getting it back. We're getting it back going.
Yeah. And you seem to be you seem to be in a great state of mind too, because I know I watched some interviews where you were saying when you left Oklahoma, you weren't feeling that well. Now you're back home and you seem like reinvigorated. You're more energetic about just boxing and life in general.
And it wasn't that I wasn't feeling well. I felt great, but I think there was there was some depression there that I didn't know I had, till I got back to Oklahoma. I got back to Oklahoma around my family and started training again, and training just exploded. Like I was just doing a lot better. My air was there. I can't explain it because I told you I didn't even know I had when I was there in Houston, or in where I was training, and I just got back and everything started clicking. You just feel more comfortable. You feel more at peace, and that as far as your mindset goes, that goes a long way in boxing. You have to be right in the head too.
Yeah, I mean the sport is very.
I didn't know I was in the head, and just coming back.
Yeah.
My bad. I was kind of cutting you off there. I didn't mean to.
Yeah. It's all good. You were saying that you didn't know you had the depression, and then your training got better.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I knew I wanted to be home with family and stuff because I'm always gone, dude. I was gone for like 2.5, 3 years without seeing my family. I hadn't been home for Christmas for that long or anything, just training. And it was good to be home and be back with that. And I think that just put me at peace a little bit in my head, and it transferred over to training, you know, and made training real good.
That's great to hear, man. You know, I always want to see fighters like realize their full potential. So it's good. Whatever situation that you need to have for that to happen, I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, everything's working out good. So I think a lot of people will see that, you know, in my fight coming up, and you know, they're going to see a lot of stuff that's better.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna probably wrap it up right now, Trey. But before I wrap it up, I wanted to ask you if you could tell people out there, just if you have any message out there about your career, or your fight, just let them know.
You know, I just want to thank you, and I appreciate everyone that's been keeping up with me and that wants to see me fight. I appreciate all the fans because I know inside that I'm a nobody and I'm nothing without y'all. Y'all make me what I am. So, thank you for wanting to follow me and keep up with my career. And, you know, I really appreciate that. I am what I am because of y'all.
Absolutely, man. I like that you understand that, man. Thank you for coming on and taking the time, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good day, and thanks for having me on, sir.
You too, man. God bless.